Hi, I'm John Grisham, still hiding in the garage, still riding out the pandemic and doing okay, still healthy. I hope you are. My book club question of the day comes from a lady in St. Petersburg, Florida. Her name is Mrs. Emma Witherspoon. She's the president of a reading club at a retirement village. There are about 11 ladies in the club, all over the age of 80, and they read a lot. And they like to write letters to the favorite writers, and they sometimes get responses, sometimes they don't. But I got the letter, and so I'm going to respond. She says a lot of nice things about the books and all that, and I'll skip that. I like to read it. She said, the question is this: after writing so many legal thrillers, why did I write A Painted House? A Painted House was published about 20 years ago. It is a sort of a fictionalized childhood memoir. And I wanted to collect a lot of old family stories I'd heard for many years, true stories that probably never happened, as told by my father and grandfather and uncles, just stuff I heard as a kid. And they're really good stories, and I didn't want them to go to waste. After writing probably a dozen legal thrillers and having some success there, I think quite naturally began to wonder, could I write something else? Could I write a different kind of book? And so I was challenged by the idea of this memoir that takes place on a cotton farm in rural Arkansas, northeastern Arkansas, where I was actually born. The first 7 years of my life, I lived on that farm as described vividly in the book. The house was my grandparents' home. We lived there with my parents, and it was a very hard life. Farming cotton in the 1950s and 60s was a tough life. I got lucky. My dad finally left the farm when I was 7 years old. We fled, just like in the book, and got away, and because my mother really wanted to leave the farm. But there are a lot of wonderful stories, and I wanted to write the book when my parents were still around and could still help me write the book. It became a project for the family, my parents. They were great resources. I would call them and ask them questions about life on the farm, who had the first television in town, the first telephone, things like that. And it was a wonderful experience. I was sort of nervous when the book was published because it's not a legal thriller, but it, over the years, has done as well as any of my other books, and it's one of my favorites. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the letter. If you have a book club and you have a question, zip it along, and I'll try to answer. Thank you. See you.